This guy that won the coffee mate.
Yeah, was he a soldier?
Let's see.
It must have been, huh?
Must have been. I think they all were. Yeah, I think so. Some were very nice.
How long was Daddy working over there before he bought the car?
Bought
4
it when
years?
Susan was 6 years old, I think.
So how'd he get to work?
He took a taxi.
Oh.
Between paying for a taxi and keeping his uniforms cleaned, dry cleaned, that took a big slice of the check every week.
So then he decided to buy the car, huh?
I think he was shamed into it. I think he didn't buy it purposely because he knew I'd be in it driving. But of course I didn't, because I was pinned down by the time I had you little ones, and then I had to keep the rooms clean for them people and do all that washing. And I furnished the bedclothes and the towels, and so it kept me washing, and boy, my arms used to ache from carrying, I had to carry it outdoors around behind the garage. That's where my lines were.
Sure.
That's why I had Ray cut that door finally in the back of the garage so I could walk through.
That's right. Yes.
Well, then I got a wash machine that spun the water out of, otherwise with the old washing machines, you just went through the wringer with them, but they were still real heavy, and I put them in a bushel basket, and the way I went and put them on the line. And,
oh, man.
But after Karen was born, I had a lady for a while to do the washing, and the darn basement was real cold because we'd gotten that gas furnace. And before that, if you have a coal furnace, it heats your house in the basement real nice. But gas don't throw up any heat. So the washing would take a couple days before you could dare take any of it down. It'd be soaking wet. And then Mama Lou came down and did the washing, poor lady, when Susan was born. And she wouldn't even come in. She'd come down, go in the basement, and do the washing, and she'd go home.
Oh.
Well, I suppose she was tired.
Sure.
After all, she wasn't young by then.
Oh, boy. 48, so she would have been, oh, my gosh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, 48 and 78. So she is 80. So it'd be 2 and 20, and oh my gosh, yeah, she's been 60, Ma.
Yeah, and if she had a hand in all of you guys, because between you stopping up there to eat lunch and helping me in other little ways, But of course, when I got the car, then I took her always for groceries, or we'd go once a week.
Oh, yeah, we'd go a lot of places in the car together.
Sure.
Go out for a root beer at night and
She
go
liked
for a ride. We did that a lot.
I could drive, see, I knew how to drive, and he didn't want me to have a car. I know that was it, because it had something to do with they got the trucks through a certain company or something, and they had one that they didn't need, so he got the car on that.
Oh, is that
He
right?
had to go to Watertown or someplace to get it, and he brought all the guys with him, of course. And I thought he'd take us, at least, but no. Virginia came up that afternoon while he was gone and wanted us to go to coffee or something. She said, if you could see your face, I could have killed him, filled the car with a bunch of guys and for an outing, and we never got to go anyplace except where we could walk.
Well, but you took Mama Lou a lot of places, and remember
as soon as we got well, actually, I did before that. My dad had a car,
Sure.
He had a Plymouth, but he didn't like to drive. He was so used to being safe up in the engine, Mom would always say, and it's true. He didn't have to watch crossings and all that stuff, and it made him nervous to drive. He wasn't a good driver. And so then he finally sold it, and then we were without anything for a couple of years, at least.
I'm surprised you didn't buy your dad's.
I didn't, well, we didn't have any money, let's face it. Plus, I guess I didn't even know he was selling it.
But I remember, Ma, that you guys tested out a Jeep wagon. Because I remember the smell of that Jeep wagon before you bought the Chevy. So he was looking a little while before he bought the Chevy.
He didn't look at all. I drove him to everything he ever did. I had to get after him and make him do it. And then the night that we got that blue Biscayne,
Yeah?
he says before we go, you know, you can wait till September and they'd only have one or two left and they'd put a pretty good price on them. So there was only two. There was a yellow one and that blue one.
Mm-hmm.
He said before we went, now don't you say a word. That's the way he didn't want me to have anything to say in front of the salesman, you know. So the guy finally said, you haven't said anything to me. And well, anyway, then he didn't buy it, of course. Wouldn't make a deal. So we went out, and I just got outside the door, and I said, why didn't you buy that car? And he said, oh, did you want me to buy it? We turned around and walked in. Did those guys cackle? They knew what had happened. Salespeople, 2 or 3 men, they just laughed. So then he signed up for it, and of course he got the money from the credit union, to pay for it, and then we paid for it gradually.
Sure. And it probably was
You had it 2 or
$2,500.
3 days. You came to Texas to see me, Mom.
What?
You didn't have it 2 days, so you came to Texas to see
Oh,
me.
that was the Buick. Yeah,
Oh,
that
that's
was
right,
our
it was.
third car. But yeah, we the shock of my life. I was driving. Can you believe it? By then, I was driving. Otherwise, first was not allowed to drive. But anyway, we left Sioux Falls. It been one that, what do you call them when they showed it to people? It had a few miles.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
had a few miles on it.
Test car. Or
So
whatever.
anyway, we get up and we leave at a certain time, pretty early in the morning. And then along the way, we stopped. It was down where it was pretty hot. I couldn't believe it. We'd had the air conditioning on the car. I didn't know it was hot out. And we opened that door and Turner fainted.
Isn't that something? What a difference that and that Buick had a great air conditioner. I remember that.
Oh, yeah, the Buick was... Well, I was the one chose the Buick. Finally, I was getting my wings about it. Lawrence always loved the Buick. He said they were the best car going. So I thought, well, we had the Chevrolet twice before. I said, let's go look at him at least.
Sure.
And so we did, and I think Beat and her husband had bought one just before that, same color and everything, and that urged me on too, so anyway, we bought it. It was only $3,500, can you believe it?
Wow.
But we had to borrow from the credit union, and it took us a while to pay off. We never had any money, never, as far as just week to week.
I think actually everybody lived like that, Mom. I don't think anybody had a lot of money.
In fact, especially that, I believe that car was, well, the Chevy was a 58, and I think that car was like a 70-something, wasn't it? 72?
I'm not sure anymore.
So you bought that in 72. Well, you
Well,
would
we
have
had
known,
it
whatever
20
year
years.
she came to see you.
That would have been 69.
69, okay. It was a 69 Buick then. Either a, Might have been a 70.
Yeah,
It depends
might
on
have
what
been
time of
70.
year.
Could have been a 70.
But it never cost us
That
a
was a
dime.
good car.
20 years we had it. But of course we never went anyplace except, you
Oh,
know,
you went
when
on little trips.
Yeah,
here
you
and
did
there.
you came up to see us in that car. That was nice.
um,
You went to this Minnesota State Fair.
first thing I did when we got a car was plan to go on a trip. So we went to Boys Town. We went down, what is that city on the other side of the river past Omaha?
Oh,
Was
that's Council Bluffs.
Yeah, we went on the road that took it there, and then we crossed over, and we went to Mass at Boys Town.
Oh,
And so, of course, I was trying to break Howard in. He didn't want to ride. He didn't want to drive on the highway, you know. As much driving as he did, he was afraid to drive, really. Anyway, the next year then, I think, or probably a couple years, I don't know, we went to Duluth. You
that's
remember that?
right.
And
Yeah.
then that morning when we were coming home, we went on up to that copper mine.
That's right, in Hibbing.
Yeah. And then we came all the way home that day.
That's a long drive.
Oh, land of living. I thought we were paralyzed. But, you know, that's where horses are. If you give them the rein, they won't stop. They go like crazy all the way home. That was all. The same thing happened when we were coming back from California. We were in Rollins, Wyoming, and there was no motels in that day. And so we couldn't find a place. We were just too tired. We couldn't come on. It was too far away. Anyway, it must have been a sign in the yard or something. Anyway, we had the upstairs of a house. We stayed there.
Still, you came all the way from Rollins, Wyoming the next day?
That's right.
All the
Oh,
way
that's-
across the state of South Dakota.
Yeah,
That's
and
unbelievable.
I stayed awake until someplace like Rapid City, I think, or someplace. By then, I could not stay awake any longer, so I fell asleep too, and Howard did the driving.
So he made it from Rapid home by himself. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we must have maybe stopped at Pier.
No,
Oh,
it was the middle of the night.
oh, Lord. Jack, you don't know your father. We didn't stop any place. The only thing when
6
we came
hours.
through Vegas, Las Vegas, we stopped on the outside and got a bottle of popcorn.
Bottle of Coke, I still remember it. Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, those 7-ounce bottle of Coke. I was so thirsty. Everybody was.
Yeah. it was
Everybody
fun.
in the car.
And I remember driving down the main street. You didn't think nothing of places to. We had heard, you know, you'd gamble out there and all that stuff, and but it's just a row of stores, kind of. That didn't amount to anything. My husband dropped out the next time I went to Vegas with Lawrence. I couldn't believe it.
Oh, right.
It was changed so badly.
I have to go to bed, Mom.
Yeah, me too, Ma. This has been great, though. Great, really great.